I believe that the financial institutions are in for an upgrade, and that upgrade is going to deal with decentralized tech. And concerning price points, Bitcoin's going to hit 1 million within this decade. That's like, it's just a matter of time.
Hi, Christopher. Nice to see you and meet you again. We are back in the studio. Thank God. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have you on. I want you to tell the audience about yourself so that we can get started.
Of course. So first and foremost, always a pleasure to connect, and looking forward to hopefully seeing you in person pretty soon as well. My name is Christopher Perceptions, born and raised in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, but was a little bit of a digital nomad for some of my life. Lived in Chicago, lived in South Africa, lived in North Carolina, downtown Raleigh, lived in LA, and I just love so many different things that I've been able to do. So I spent 10 years as an artist, from the time of roughly 18 until the time I found out about this weird magic internet money thing called Bitcoin. And then from there on, I spent a decade in the industry, building things, advising, helping people. And there's been a shift. I'm on my third act that involves continuing on what happened in the era of cryptocurrency, but putting it with purpose. Concerning churches and nonprofits with treasuries that are being depleted by inflation and things of that nature. So that's a little bit about me.
Wow. Already so excited. We've met in person. We met at a crypto event, and we've worked together on different aspects since, I got into crypto, right? And you're one of those voices that when you speak, people listen. Why is it? How did you even start and think that Bitcoin would even be close to, right now it's, between 92 to 96,000? Like, when you got in, tell us, let's go back to when you got started.
Yeah, so that's more of an origin story, I think.
Yeah.
So for me, my mother was a Christian evangelist. I lived with her, my aunt, and my grandmother. My great-grandmother planted a church or two. So from that side, I come from Christian foundation and stock. My dad, who was in and out of my life, he was a drug dealer who did voodoo. My grandfather was a pimp. My great-grandfather was a Freemason. So I had a lot of tug of war through all of my life, but I had a chance to see the world in a way where a lot of my peers didn't. One, either they were in and out of jail or they were dying earlier before their time. But I also got a chance to see the types of people. I got a chance to be around murderers, prostitutes, drug users, seeing kilos of cocaine with scorpion stamped on it. I also got a chance to see self-made millionaires, politicians, dignitaries, kicking it with Jesse Jackson, taking pictures, all these different things at a very young age. So I had a chance to study both sides, if I could say it that way, up close. And I saw that we're really not that different. If a person doesn't have integrity, they just don't have integrity, whether they have money or whether they don't. If a person has morals, that aspect of the heart comes out no matter what. So although there is nuance in name and language serving as a signal, the biggest thing that I saw was things were optimized through systems. So if a person has a good system, they generally will have a good result. If they don't have access to a good system, bad will incur. So I began to wonder, is it possible ever to have a fair system, or am I being utopian? Am I just dreaming? Am I naive? And then I found out about Bitcoin, and I fell in love with the possibility. I dug into the white paper, and the thing that screamed at me in my spirit was, this is fair. It's not based off of where you're born. It's not based off of your passport. It's not based off of what gender you are. It's based off of ones and zeros. If you have it, great. If you don't, you can get it. And a Rothschild, Rockefeller can get it. Pookie down the street can get it. It was democratized. I love that. And then from there, I saw an opportunity for mass adoption. And I see a thesis concerning mass adoption being threefold. It has to be easy to understand, easy to build on, and easy to integrate. So we see this with artificial intelligence. It's becoming easy to understand. There's the wow factor. Mm-hmm. It's easy to build on, APIs and whatnot. And then it's easy to integrate concerning governments literally funding deals, brokering deals for this industry. So it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. I believe that the financial institutions are in for an upgrade, and that upgrade is going to deal with decentralized tech. So that's how I got in. And concerning price points, Bitcoin's going to hit 1 million within this decade. That's like, it's just a matter of time.
So you see the overhaul coming. Okay, so I love that. I really, really love that. Your background, you know, your the evangelism or, you know, the spirituality aspect of it. And that's amazing because, you know, that's what we are, you know, that's how we connected, you know, because we are both believers. So that was amazing. I love that. And you've been able to speak at, you know, stages or even speak at events and be invited on spaces where you know an audience of more than 200,000 at a time sometimes. So the fact that you started where you started and you got to the top, how were you able to explain this new technology to noobs? People who are wondering, like, what are you even doing? Like, you're wasting time. This is not going anywhere. Because, you know, that was me in 2010. I'm in banking and explaining it to people, and also thinking to myself, it's not going anywhere. So yeah, I listen to them. So what made you decide, okay, no, this is it. This is going somewhere?
Yeah, great question. I've always been an outlier. So since you brought up the kingdom connection, I got my Bible literally right here. So let's crack open the text virtually, if we will. There was a person by the name of David. David was chosen by God, but he was obscure to the eyes of man. How do we know this? His father Jesse, at the time of Prophet Samuel, saying, okay, Lord told me to anoint the new king, and the king is in this house. Where is he? Jesse had a whole bunch of sons. It's like, well, it has to be these. David was not brought up. So
I love David.
I love David as well, because in many instances I've been that David. I've been the one that it's like, oh, it's not Chris. It couldn't be Chris. And God's like, but what if it is? You know? So I look at things from the lens of possibility. Like, what if it is? What would prevent this from not being the thing? What could make this the thing? So speaking on those spaces, it's really interesting because I want to make sure that I'm grounded in reality. I don't want it to be an echo chamber. I think about, how can a homeless person use Bitcoin? Or is this something that is only for oligarchs and people who have smartphones that have been updated to the newest tech? Is this something that a refugee could use? Could the persecuted church in North Korea, the underground church in China, could they use this technology? And if so, how? So if I can break it down in bite sizes like that, for them, I can break it down for anyone. And I've spent a lot of time educating people, from writing books to doing educational seminars. I even did a brief stint virtually as a guest lecturer at the University of Greenwich in London. So being able to speak to people and education is one of the precursors for mass adoption, because as an investor and with your background in banking, you know this, people won't invest in something they don't understand. So you gotta make them understand. It could be the best thing since sliced bread. It could be a flying car that costs less than $1. Why does it cost less than $1? Is this a Temu thing? Like, are you trying to scam me? You gotta make it plain for people. You gotta write the vision, make it plain.
Yeah, I love it. Love it. So listen, we as a people, you know, and I'm going to say people of color, we are probably very skeptical about new technology.
Rightly so.
The internet in the 80s, I mean, I personally didn't even, but then I was, you know, growing up in Africa, we didn't even think it was going to be anything much more than, go all over the world to where everybody's on a mobile phone right now. We were the last adopters of it. And we don't want that to happen with digital assets. So how would you relay this message, knowing that there's coming a system overhaul? The financial system is outdated. It's over 100 years old. I mean, we went from exchanging chicken with the neighbors, and then we went to another form of money, and then it was paper, but it's now going away. And digital assets, the rich have already realized, hey, I'm putting all my money in Bitcoin, and I'm putting it in gold, and the silver is going up. Why is it that we're not seeing the writing on the wall?
It's a great question. I mean, you hit it right on the head concerning skepticism. We've been told like, oh, these shots won't hurt you, Tuskegee experiment. Oh, there is nothing against the African-American populations in America, COINTELPRO. Like, there's so many instances where people of color have been lied to under the guise of, oh, it's okay. Concerning tech, it's one of those things where it's like, is this okay? But I look at it this way. Especially concerning the continent, and the continent has my heart. I'm going to be relocating that side in 2027. Concerning Cape Town, I'll be back and forth, but that will be HQ concerning Cape Town. So shout out to all my fam out there. But yeah, I can't wait. But all things considered, the continent, they have phones even if they don't have water. There's hyper density concerning a specific generation that is going to be in power. So in America, there are multi-trillions of dollars that are flowing to millennials concerning this wealth exchange. Concerning the continent, there is power that is going to be exchanged. And on top of that, 1 in 4 people globally will be African within the 2030 to 2040 timeline. 1 in 4 people globally. So with this, there needs to be a way for us to be connected, not just from an ethnic cultural sense, but just from a commerce sense. How is an African entrepreneur that's able to source something from China going to be able to get it if he has to deal with exchange rates and all of these different things? When it's rumored that Starlink accepts payment, they exchange it for stable coins, and then they deposit it in their nation under the denominated currency. So this interoperability piece is going to be key. And for people who don't know, interoperability is basically where you make a round shape fit in a square hole due to some sort of square coding for the round shape. It makes it possible for different things to talk. That's all. So interoperability is going to be huge, and it's going to especially take precedent concerning finances. How can an NGO do business with someone or partner with someone that's stateside without a whole bunch of red tape? You're going to be looking at decentralized outputs. You're going to be looking at tech. And if the money is changing form, to your point, value is now, it's not just a brick and mortar. If you had 50% ownership in the Empire State Building, you would probably be looking at a way of getting liquid and putting it in something that you can just put in your backpack and fly to a different nation if needed, or be able to transfer and it's valued. And that is where gold or a digital asset such as Bitcoin, digital oil like Ethereum potentially, where it can be programmed. These are the things that are going to take precedent. And then lastly, if you're able as a business owner to understand the concept of smart contracts, where you're able to put logic on chain in the sense of an immutable ledger that cannot deviate from said logic. What would happen if the Library of Alexandria was a smart contract? Could it have been burned down? It would still be accessible for us. Exactly. So in so many instances, we can't be late to the party because the party is already starting to fill up, unfortunately. But because of this, we have an opportunity to get in before the door closes. Got to get in before the door closes. There's a small window of time. You can get in for the tech, you can get in for the money, you can do trade, whatever, but just learn about it, do your own research, and try your best to see where you can fit in. That's what I would tell my people on the continent.
Amazing, amazing. You know, I was talking to my brother, and we were looking at the population in Kenya, especially because I grew up in Kenya. When I left 32 years ago, it was 26 million people. Do you know what the population is right now?
60.
Close to, you are almost there, 58. Yes. I'm like, wow. Okay. And check Nigeria out, 237 million, close to, I mean, in the next 10, 20 years, they'll be close to the population of the US. And then Cape Town, where everyone's moving there or having a home there, you know, these people are already getting more digital than we are here in the US, right? So think about 1 billion people, whatever business you decide to do down there, and you can literally just charge $1, literally. And if it's a mobile phone, like everyone has a mobile phone. There are so many opportunities. And when people say to me, there are no opportunities, I'm like, well, you must not be looking in emerging technology.
Right.
And
Agreed.
so your move, I commend it. And you're multinational, you go different places, you know, and it's good to be in a continent where things are just like you said, there's an exchange of power. In the US, the boomers are about to move over what, 7 trillion? 7 trillion.
With a T.
See?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, 7 trillion. And it's not only just going to their kids. Money's moving around. So we need to hear more about those opportunities. And I know you're doing something in Wisconsin. I want you to tell us about it. It's exciting.
Sure, and thank you for that. So I'm working with State Senator Dora Drake. Shout out to her. She's an amazing woman of not only being able to walk in that space with integrity, but she also loves the Lord. Known her for some years, and I was telling her about this stuff, and it's like, this doesn't make sense to me. Can you teach me? Can you like tell me more? So we would just riff. And then it's like, well, what if we could do something in Wisconsin? They've done something in Arizona, in Hawaii, Wyoming. The Midwest is open. So like, perhaps we could grab it into these Wisconsin founders, business owners, farmers. There are farmers in Ireland that are making money with Bitcoin by using manure to fund their mining operations. And also, yeah, and there's a lot of farmers.
In Ireland?
In Ireland, yep.
So, well, don't make me fly to Ireland, figure out how they're doing it so we can also start in Texas.
It's not that difficult. They have some open source outputs where like you can find, and that's what I love about this the industry, even though the Lord has shifted me, and I can talk a little bit more is what I mean by that. The industry deals with don't trust, verify. And the industry is very open concerning sharing. Like you do have your outliers where it's closed source, but most of the time it's open source because people want progression. We did this in Ireland this way. Perhaps you'll figure out how to do this with hydroponics. Perhaps you'll figure out how to crack the code concerning solar, or maybe you can do this in a combination of grid and manure as a farmer. The biggest thing for us is that we wanted to create a framework that would protect Wisconsinites. So I serve as the advisor, senior advisor, whatever, for the WIN bill, the Wisconsin Innovation Network bill, and been working on this for some years, but I'm excited to announce that it has a public hearing, which is very, very integral concerning the process of it going from just an idea to a couple town halls to law. The public hearing part is very important. So really, really excited for what the Lord has done concerning that. And that should be taking place this quarter. So who knows, by the end of year, this thing might be enacted and can serve as a framework, not just for Wisconsin, but also for the world, because it's three-pronged. It has the ability for businesses to have an office to go to. I have questions. My board has questions. Can we book time with this Wisconsin Innovation Office to learn about novel technology? Yes, there's a go-to office that's going to create jobs instantly the moment that it comes law. There's also going to be a grant treasury for people who want to integrate this technology, but they don't have necessarily the funds. You can pilot and prototype things in Wisconsin. And then there's also going to be an educational offering for people who just want to learn. They might not want to do business, but they at least want to be armed with knowledge so that they don't get scammed. So that's the long story short, but you can go to thewinbill.com to learn more, and you can even read the preliminary bill before it gets a bill number.
I'm going to say congratulations already, because that is amazing. The world needs it. We need it. You know, a lot of people in my state, or, you know, Austin obviously is advanced technology wise. In San Antonio, I'm just getting my foot on the ground to get people to realize, well, we do have a Bitcoin meetup, so that's a good thing, you know. So what we want to do is get our foot in as my family, you know, crypto family, to not ideas, but opportunities like this to share to other people. When we had NFTs, everybody wanted to talk about NFTs, and now people think, okay, well, the space is dead, nothing's happening. What other opportunities are there out there, Cryptomom? There's still a lot of opportunities. And you know, NFTs, let's go back to NFTs, right? When NFTs came about, I think the technology wasn't used the way it should be used for. The technology, it was good to have a one-on-one on the blockchain. I feel like the technology should be now outside, like not just, it should be like ticketing. Like you should go to a stadium and show your NFT and be able to get access to the stadium. The title companies, the real estate, it's more than just what we thought it would be. What would it take for us to get the NFT season back?
It's a good question. So some might say, and I'm talking to the degens. For people who don't know, degens are not like degenerate bad. It's slang for people who they just stare at their screens all the time, and they're trading, and they're in Discord chats, and they're trying to make it. We're gonna make it, all of that. But for those types, they would probably say that there are silos where the NFT season has never really died. I just saw recently on OpenSea that they're doing a mint for eligible pudgy penguin people. But then after the eligibility period closes, it's going to go up for public mint, and the starting price is 10 ETH. Starting price. Just saw this before we hopped on this call. So, and that's a Soulbound token. So the question is, well, two questions. One, what's a Soulbound token? And two, why would someone pay 10 ETH for something that they can't transfer? Which goes back to point one. A Soulbound token is a token that is attributed to a wallet, and it can't transfer, it can't leave. It's like either a status symbol, it's a membership marker, it's an identifier, but there is a flaw concerning Soulbound tokens. What if you lose access to your digital wallet? People lose their physical wallets, their purses. They might be on flights rushing and forget their AirPods. Humans are susceptible to error. Concerning a biblical worldview, we have all fallen short of the glory of God. Therefore, we are sinful. Therefore, we are flawed. Oh, humans are naturally good. Then how come you don't have to teach a baby how to be evil? Don't do that. And they'll look at you and they'll do the thing you said don't do. That's not taught. That's innate. So if we're susceptible in that regard, we're surely susceptible to potentially losing things. So I think there's something there. I definitely see identity being a thing if it's done right. I know of things concerning California with the Avalanche blockchain where their DMV is putting things on change. Putting things on chain. On top of that, there's a RNS.ID where you're able to do a yearly thing where you're able to be a digital Republican, a digital citizen of the Republic of Palau. Lots of words. So the Republic of Palau, you're able to have an official ID that can help you with KYC, and it's an NFT that's in your wallet. So that's a good output, I think. So there are people that are trying, but if we're talking like an artist dropping on chain and then minting out for hundreds of thousands, that might take a little time to get back to, if ever.
That's cool. That's funny. And let me ask this. When you say the digital ID, Palau, that's not the one where people are going to be scanning their, because a lot of people are very skeptical with anything digital ID, because
Yeah.
OpenAI had that coin where you're scanning your eyeball, which I personally couldn't explain it to a noob, but you're far advanced in this. Like, what is the difference between that one from WorldCoin and this one that Palau is having people, use as an ID card?
Sure. So it's not as invasive. It's similar to saying, hey, I need to go to the DMV. I got to go to public affairs to get stuff. I have to take a picture. I got to tell them who I am. And then they audit, they make sure that I am who I say that I am. And then they send me a card in the mail. I have an NFT representing this physical thing, and it also gives me access to, in the early iterations of this, if you were traveling where the president of the Republic of Palau was traveling, you could have a meeting with the president of Palau because you're holding this NFT and you have this physical ID. What WorldCoin was doing was basically, and this is no shot at them, I'm removing the emotion from it. I'm looking at it for what it is. They went in nations to try and procure irises and said, hey, for giving us something that is unchangeable about you, but also places you in hyper vulnerability if all of these ever get lost, we're gonna give you an airdrop of some coins. Please and thank you. That didn't come off too well, but maybe it did, because if you go on Uniswap, you can see the blockchain WorldCoin as an option, along with the bases, the Ethereums, the ZK syncs, all of that. So there are going to be different chains for different needs. So it's a multi-chain world, but it just depends on what people really want. If you're looking at staying power in digital gold, that's Bitcoin. If you're looking for making things productive, you're going to be looking at EVM or Ethereum. But in all things, obviously, you want to make sure that you're staying safe. And the coolest thing is you don't have to opt into these things. You can just say, nah, I'm gonna skip that one. I'm gonna go to the thing that doesn't require my blood type, social security number, passport physically given to them for me to interact. I don't want access like that.
Yeah, it's a lot of people in countries that didn't know what was going on. They were buying. I mean, they wanted the airdrop. So to me, my iris is no. I mean, it costs too much money for you to just give me a little airdrop for food. And even if I'm in a country that I need, no, I would charge a lot more for that. So he took advantage in the countries he went in. But anyway, we'll just let that slide. I know you're building, and I love what you're building because it's for the church.
Mm-hmm.
And it's dear and near to me. And when I saw you share it, I wanted to learn more about it. I went on base and I checked it out. And I was thinking, this is so cool, but how many people know how to access, get the wallet? So I want you to tell us about, first of all, what are you building so they know, and why you're building it?
Great question. So I'll give a little precursor here. So because you were speaking on Spaces, Spaces is specifically a Twitter X thing. I was on X often. I spent like 13, 14 years on X. And then being a believer, being a Christian, Jesus is not just king, but he is Lord, in the sense of it is not a democracy. It is a theocracy. Whatever he says goes. And I don't try to wiggle my will into it and label it Christian. That's not how it works. So God, he pulled me from the marketplace as of last year. He told me to torch my Twitter, my old TikTok. I had some viral videos on there, all of that. He said, you're doing ministry. So I've been preaching and teaching and praying and doing sessions with people since basically the latter half of last year. He was preparing me in the first half.
I love that.
But with this, he also gave me a download, and he said, I want you to turn the blockchain into an altar. And I said, whoa, what does that mean? So he gave me a download, and I've been working on this thing in part, but he gave me direct clarity as of last year. So it is a protocol called Jubilee Protocol, and it is going to exist within two spaces, ZK Sync and Base. Base for adoption and speed, ZK Sync for privacy. So what this means is it's a blockchain that is meant for the body of Christ. So while DeFi has a total value assessed at over $123 billion, which is, a lot of coins, the amount
they're all down now.
I'm sorry?
I said they're all down now.
What goes up goes down, right?
I mean, and it will come back up. It's just the timing wasn't for it. But I don't want, sorry, go ahead.
Now you're good. These things are cyclical. It's not a get rich quick. Sometimes it's a get wealthy slow, and you got to ride the waves. But comparing apples to pineapples here, DeFi, crypto exclusive money, is roughly $123 billion in decentralized finance. Concerning the amount stewarded or held by Christian entities, it is either, and these are conservative numbers, it is either 500 billion or 1.2 trillion held. Now the question is, where is that held? Traditional finance, or TradFi. Not many are dipping their feet in the water concerning digital assets. So if inflation is one rate and your high yield savings account is just giving you 3 point whatever percent, you're not even beating inflation. So how are we called to be stewards of kingdom resource?
Go ahead while I'm going to bring the charger, but I'm listening. Go ahead.
No,
sorry.
I'll wait for you.
Okay. I'm like, I thought I charged it, but okay. Okay, we're back. Cut that part out. Okay.
Yes, good. So how can we say that we're kingdom stewards over the resources that God has given us if we're not growing them? Oh, well, you're talking about trading. I'm talking about the parable of the talents. Even the one that buried his talent, the person said, you could have given this to the money changers and I could have gotten interest. Don't let fear stop you from gaining for the sake of kingdom. Because and I'll talk about this in my book, Bitcoin and Faith. If we were to look at inflation between 2020 and 2024, a church that got $1 million in donations, it has the spending power of 800,000. So how many homeless people does that affect? How many single parents does that affect? How many foster kids, missions? Like, it is cutting into the work of God if people aren't able to steward resource well, even if it's just maintaining. So the idea of Jubilee Protocol is to give the body of believers a safe place concerning the blockchain that's dedicated to the Lord, that ensures that there's no counterparty risk. The people associated with Jubilee Protocol, have no access to anything, similar to bank accounts that need a certain amount of signatures over a specific threshold. There are digital accounts known as multi-signature wallets where treasuries can hold and grow resource on chain while having governance and oversight and proper fair value accounting. So Jubilee Protocol is pioneering in this regard for the body of Christ. So our first offering is Jubilee Bitcoin Index. It's live on Base. We just rolled out V2 literally within the last 24 hours. And it includes a lot of these things that I'm speaking on. It's an index fund on the Base blockchain that takes Coinbase Bitcoin and Wrapped Bitcoin, two institutional offered Bitcoin outputs. And rather than making people choose, there's a smart contract that serves as a trader for you. So you would get your Coinbase Bitcoin, you would mint Jubilee Bitcoin, and it is going to generate yield for you automatically. There is no lockup period. You can keep it until Jesus comes back. You can keep it for 6 months, 3 months, and then it's going to have a yield. And then from there, aside from performance fees, which are minuscule to help the protocol, you're going to be able to withdraw it back into Coinbase Bitcoin anytime you would like. And there are other offerings. I'll share this with you here. Next month, we're going to be rolling out Jubilee Ethereum, the staked index. And then in March, we're going to be rolling out the stablecoin index. And then on Good Friday, I have a very, very, very fun announcement to share. But I'll say it this way. Interest-free loans. I'll say it that way.
Whoa, next level. Next level. I may have to get you back before Good Friday so we can, we want to talk about your book too. You know, you wrote a Bitcoin, what's the name of the book again?
Bitcoin and Faith.
Bitcoin and Faith. Okay, yes. We want to talk about that too. This is amazing. So what about the education aspect? Like, how are people gonna get educated? What are the ways you're using to tell people or retail or churches, organizations? Is the program that you're setting up in Wisconsin, is that going to be part of that?
Potentially. That's going to be more of a government ran output, but if they want my participation in it, I'm obviously happy to do so. Concerning churches, I've spoken at churches, I've consulted privately with believers concerning this, and I have books, I've done courses, so the whole nine is included. But concerning Jubilee, I have frequently asked questions. There's a tutorial to onboard people. If they have questions, they can email at contact@jubileeprotocol.xyz, and we will respond to you. If necessary, we'll hop on a call, walk you through things so that you can set it up. Very, very hands-on in many respects. And as Apostle Paul talks about, I know what it's like to abound, I know what it's like to be abased, I know what it's like to be homeless, I know what it's like to crack certain financial thresholds, and I know the in-between spaces as well. And I know that in all of our getting, we are to get understanding. And if there's a way where I can help provide understanding for people, I'm always happy to do it.
I love it. And I love that the parable about the talent that you shared, that resonates with me, because we're not given these talents to just sit on them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're held responsible to do something with it.
Yep.
And if and you know, and when you're telling people, and I did do a masterclass in 2023. I had most of my students in that masterclass believers, which is so good. It was so good to see. Now, we went into a cycle where everything went low.
Yeah.
And that's when the enemy can whisper and say, oh, it's over. But when you know what God has told you and has given you the opportunity to be in spaces where a lot of people are not in, you know, where it's the top 1%. And if the top 1% are accumulating and you're thinking, oh, maybe because I put mine in 2023, it's not going to do anything. That's a lie from the devil, because that's what the enemy wants us to think. Like, it's over, the cycle's over, 4-year cycle is over. It's not, we're done with the 4-year cycles. So what would you say about those 4-year cycles that we always knew, oh, it will be 2022 to 2026. We've been past the 4-year cycle. Let me hear your take on that.
Yeah, great question. This is a different cycle, but in the past, you're correct. It was 4-year cycles where it goes down crazy, but then when it goes up, it dwarfs when it went down. This is a very interesting time because we are nearing global war, and that sentiment of people being confident in making things such as trades or deposits that might be risky. They're looking for more assurances.
Sure.
So that's why the market has been kind of at a stagnant pace. People were expecting, oh, Bitcoin's going to be 200,000, blah, blah, blah. No one knows. We can only estimate or guesstimate or speculate. That's it. Only one who knows the markets is the one who is above the markets. That's it. Everything else is estimate, guesstimate, or speculate. So what I would tell people is based off of historical data, which is where we're able to get APRs, APYs, and all of that. It's all historical data. It's not to say like this is what the future is going to hold based off of past things, based off of on-chain things. This is what it could be. Based off of historical data, we see that there is a teetering coming. It's either going to rip into a bull market because of money printing, or it's going to descend into a bear market, which means you can accumulate things that you thought were overvalued or out of reach for cheap. And that's not just going to affect cryptocurrency. It's going to affect real estate, equities. There's a crisis within private equities, quiet as kept, because people are just trying to hot potato debt. But eventually someone's going to be left with a hot potato and they can't give it to anybody. So what are they going to do? Probably declare bankruptcy. And then the pensions and the people connected to the private equity funds, they'll be like, oh, you lost. Oh, well. And that's going to be a thing where the economics of the world is going to shift. But for people who are like, oh, it's over. Let me tell you a quick story. There's a gentleman who found out about cryptocurrency in the Far East, and he sold his condo and he got in and it tanked like right after he got in. So he was hearing from his mother like, oh, you did a foolish thing. You need to get your condo back and all of that. He doubled down. He kept buying. And then this person ended up being CEO over one of the largest exchanges. His name is CZ of Binance.
Oh, is that CZ's story? I didn't even know that he sold his condo.
He first got in by selling his condo, and he went all in.
Conviction.
And then the market tanked, and he could have retreated, but he dug in deeper, and he helped build one of the biggest exchanges in the world.
Yes.
And he's a multi-billionaire.
I love that story.
Concerning the economics of things, look at it like let's talk biblically now. Look at it from the lens of the person who had found treasure in a land and sold everything that they had to buy the land so that they could have that treasure. There are certain things in life where you, as it says in the scriptures, you buy truth and you do not sell it. There are certain things, even if and when I did not have money to purchase certain things, to make certain plays, I had knowledge. And that knowledge applied could yield not only me, but also others resources if they activate. So there's always opportunity. It just depends on your perspective. And I'll end with this. I was talking to my wife about this. Some people were walking through the wilderness and they got into the promised land. The people in the promised land, when they look up at the sky, they probably just see clouds. The people who made it through the wilderness to the promised land, they look up at the sky and their first thought is food. Perspective.
Love it. Love having you on. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Time. Okay. So where can we find you, Christopher? And regarding the Wisconsin legislation that's happening, is there anything I can, let people know, hey, go vote on this, or dates? Like, let us know where to find you, and we want you back for sure.
Well, I am a message away, young lady. You have my personal info, so we're locked in. For people interested concerning the bill, the WIN bill, or Wisconsin Innovation Network bill, you can go to thewinbill.com. All dates and information will be there. Concerning contact and staying in touch with me, that's a little easier to speak on because I am not like officially on X. Jubilee Protocol has an X account. I might have a lurking account if you can find it, just to like see trends and stuff, but I'm not active like I used to be.
We see each other.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. But on the ministry side is where the Lord really has me personally. So on TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, Christopher Perceptions, all one word. Or you can go to ChristopherPerceptions.com and you will be able to see me concerning the ministry piece. But if you're interested in Jubilee Protocol, jubileeprotocol.xyz. If you're interested in Jubilee Bitcoin Index, that is jbtci.xyz. And obviously on Amazon, you can search up Christopher Perceptions and you'll see all my books. Last book that I published was Bitcoin and Faith.
Oh, amazing meeting. So thank you so much. Nice having you on. God bless you. We are cheering for you. You represent all of us, and God bless you more and more.
God bless you. Thank you so much.